2 years later, Joe Rogan meets Mr. Beast again, and I'll try to brief this video of what actually they talked about. Rogan actually made it very easy for me because half of the video, literally half, is them brainstorming of a zombies versus survivors in abandoned city video series, question mark. If it's true collaboration, if they're truly passionate, it probably is a whole Netflix series at this point. Yet again, Beast Games 3. It's actually hard to tell, but yeah, they couldn't shut up about it. About certain details like what kind of guns to use, how zombies would behave, what are the rules generally. There is one slip that made me really happy for Mr. Beast's future. His fiancée is into horror. To me, that's a slip. That's a slip that Mr. Beast just doesn't give a fuck what people he surrounds with. And it's like, yeah, he was attracted by the good side, but the horror thing is immediate, like, ultimate red flag for me personally. The other interesting thing is the ending. I'll get to the middle. The middle part is like the actual conversation, so it's more cut and dry. It's not about anything in particular besides, oh my god, skill equals success. If you can do it, anyone can do it. And as I say that, there's a car beeping outside. My neighbors are very skillful at making noise, for example, and pissing me off and disrupting my life, so that's cool. They're very successful at ruining my life. Good people can be successful, bad people can be successful. Very cut and dry nonsense in the middle. Basically, millionaires yapping to each other. Yep, 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 yep. Only in the end is Mr. Beast pulling out the millionaire halo, where he's talking about cacao farms, and most importantly, cacao farms are just trash. Because dragging African children into schools is basically, well, schools is like unpaid labor. You really don't get paid for going to schools anywhere in the world, so I don't know, man. I don't think children should do unpaid labor, if you ask me. But they should be disciplined, just in case they're going the wrong direction in life. Or they're just bored. Right? Schools should be a way to set bounds for children so they don't, do evil things. There's a lot of crazy things you can do as an adult, but as a child, you should be barred from that entirely. But yeah. So, this is not a big halo when he's talking about cacao farms. The big halo is in the very end, where he's talking about 40% of food gets wasted. In America specifically. They just throw it away because, oh, it's about to expire. Oh, oops. By the way, in my local space, I believe they're capable of selling most of the food. I'm not exactly sure. But with a discount, right? There's a specific discount area for every single type of food. In America, however, someone has to step in, like Mr. Beast, and say, nah, we have to take care of this thing. And he's boosting some kind of non-profit that also consider that as a big issue, so that's cool. That's the best thing he's doing, and it's actually like really, really good. Nothing should be wasted if it doesn't have to be wasted. That's the most inhumane thing to do for a millionaire who's running like big supermarkets. These people should be ashamed. Another thing about child labor is sometimes the labor is so easy, a child can do it without, severe issues. So it does matter what kind of labor. Because sometimes going to school takes a long ass time. Well, you can just do labor as a child and get paid. So I actually morally don't know if cacao farms is a bad thing or not. At all. I just have no idea. You can just like pretend to put a smile on other people's face, say it's ethically sourced, and people are still relatively enslaved, even if they're not children. It's like, oh, ethical sourcing. A lot of people are enslaved. A lot of people do jobs that they don't want to do, right? Nobody surveils them and asks them whether they liked their job or not. Alright, let's get to the middle part.
Yeah, so I just took...
Then they talk about AI, which is pretty devastating, of where Mr. Beast used AI in the first place. AI does make things scary of like, what does the future hold? But at the same time, progress should be relatively slow, and every single time we make progress, like invent iPhones, we also invent doom scrolling, or just not paying attention to our friends, intentionally not knowing how to use the internet to socialize and make long-lasting connections. So, yeah. We invent something new, but the relative progress, the overall progress in the world is still pretty slow. Even 2,000 years ago, you could still have two people talking, someone transcripting and calling it a fucking podcast, as a multitude of books get sold about two people's conversation. So the only real thing that's changing right now is the rate of information being given, but even then, how truthful is that information? How much of it is just noise? How much is propaganda? How much of Mr. Beast videos are brain rot? We don't know. I feel like Mr. Beast podcasts are better videos than his actual videos. So, I mean, considering that some people spend 1 hour basically watching Mr. Beast video from the brainstorm perspective, where its ideas are being thrown around so they could potentially envision most of it. I mean, what else do you want? The only factor is like who gets eliminated first.
literally talk to you like some other human, right? Because it's interesting too, because I was like, hey, give me a breakdown of Dino's speech. And it was like, hey, 0.15% of his words are around 0.3% of what he says is like, it gave me like a full breakdown of like the last 100,000 words he said, what percentage they are, how he typically structures his things. Like, if you put him in a stressful situation, he'll like kind of respond more like this, but if it's more chill, he'll use this vocabulary. It was like...
Yeah, so he fed into AI someone else's way of speech and thought to play a board game with their ghost, basically. So he could learn what this, like, top-rated player would do.
Really cool. But also scary, because I was like, man, I have a lot of me talking, right? Like this podcast, theoretically, people could just take dozens of hours of this and just make like a little Jimmy.io, and it's enough where he can pick up on my speech patterns and how I respond to certain situations. 100%.
Uh-oh.
Exactly.
They can easily do that. To me, AI is a good liar, with a lot of useful factual information to back itself up. Also, sometimes an asshole, because it's programmed to be an asshole. There's weird thing that Joe Rogan says, it's like, who would have saw coming the Onlyfans? And I'm like, what? Out of all the things that you wouldn't be able to see coming, Onlyfans was coming from 3 miles away. At some point, there's just simply going to be a perverted version of Patreon. And yes, the statistic was thrown around as 10% of all women in America doing OnlyFans. Congratulations to them. Yes, if you notice, women will pervert certain things, and eventually it finally came out. Let me know in the comments, what do you want to see perverted next? The word predator is actually perverted, and they also talked about what I call ring of fire. Or rather, it was a very interesting slip from Mr. Beast. Ring of fire is a concept where some people jump over ring of fire, and some people, well, simply can't. Someone like me. I can never be successful, it looks like. So haters and naysayers are occupying the ring of fire. They're basically predators. It's a full-on predator ring that if you go towards a city, you have to still go through suburban area. You know that that one exists, and that one is filled with all kinds of nasty shit. There's always going to be a cheap area nearby a city which happens to be expensive to live in. And similar with success, there's always going to be a successful area, but very close to successful area. There's going to be failures, sore losers, haters, naysayers, and all kinds of other bullies and predators alike, seeing what you're doing and taking a piss because you're not successful enough. It's actually also a very American thing to do. Look at someone's numbers, check someone's clout, and dismiss them based on those criteria. Especially if you have unpopular opinion, Ring of Fire will find you, actually. Then will find you. Because you're waving a flag of like, look, I'm unpopular. Predators will come as a result. to take a piss. That's all they can do, however. It's kind of pathetic. Subscribe, maybe. Don't take a piss, please. I do have, like, incredible amount of envy, but one concept they didn't fully started yapping about. Mr. Beast is the biggest on the platform, and he's like S-tier creator. S-tier politician is a president. This thing does not last. Maybe 8, 12 years it can last. I think PewDiePie lasted 12 years. Almost. On the dot. If you exclude D-series, of course. I do feel like Mr. Beast has to get slapped out of the presidential status of YouTube soon enough. You sort of have this, like, magnifying glass effect. Everything that Mr. Beast does matters, including this bullshit video where, like, Mr. Beast was like, oh my god, it might be the best video I uploaded on gaming channel. And it's just a bunch of simps basically building things in abandoned Mr. Beast server and getting money as a result. Getting visited by Mr. Beast. Congratulations. You have brain-rotted little children to follow every single poop you leave behind, just in case something interesting happens. Mr. Beast just enabled simpery to the next level, which is not a very good thing. But that's what's happening under magnifying glass. All the brain rot gets to flood the world. Technically, all the good things get to flood the world, too. Everything Mr. Beast does gets magnified crazy amount because he's on top of YouTube. He's the starting point for everyone's attention. He's kind of setting the tone of YouTube culture in general. And, well, it sucks. But someone has to slap him in the face to let us all know how much it sucks. How easy it is to humble Mr. Beast. So when Joe Rogan is, like, praising Mr. Beast for, like, wow, you're the biggest, and everything you do is so successful, that is the fishy part. Anything Mr. Beast will do is gonna be successful. That's not a deep-cut skill. In Mr. Beast's hands, all the money he has can be thrown away and it's just gonna return like a boomerang. It's impossible to get rid of money anymore. No matter how broke he thinks he is. With one exception, it does depend how many people are working under Mr. Beast, and if they go hungry and they strike, I think Mr. Beast empire would go down on its own weight as well. Back in my day, when PewDiePie was the king of YouTube, he didn't actually employ that many people, he just needed some editors. But Mr. Beast actually relies on basically 1,000 of people to build sets, make sure everything is going smoothly, and even then, if anything goes wrong, Mr. Beast's gonna get a lot of heat for being too ambitious on his projects. Like, Joe Rogan was suggesting Shotgun, and Mr. Beast was like, nah, it's too risky. So that's a good behavior. Joe Rogan way too excited to drag Mr. Beast into some bullshit accident. Even saying his own story of, like, how someone blew up their brains despite the gun was not really loaded. Just the air come out, and it still blew up someone's brains. Basically, Joe Rogan just starts off graphic. We're not starting off talking about drugs. We're talking about killing zombies up in here. All right? And he was excited like a little boy.
Never been a time where the future's so uncertain, where no one can give you a really accurate map of what 10 years from now looks like.
I can probably give you what it looks like, unfortunately. So uncertain. Oh my goodness. I'm actually predicting and doubling down now, since they're talking about zombie apocalypse material, that next year is going to be all about zombie apocalypse. Alright? Because we already live, since COVID, in the apocalypse period. I can already predict that capitalism is going to be laid to rest. Some people will be still clinging onto capitalism, blah blah blah. Every country in the world will have to adopt AI and its ism. That shit is already predictable for the next year. And the year after that. I mean, I can predict things pretty well. I don't know about Rogan, where he probably never talked to a smart person before. I don't know. Now, obviously, predictions can be pretty rough, but rough is good enough. But I wasn't able to predict that Windows is gonna suck balls and ruin my mood forever.
And then we also have VR and AR and games that you can play all day long that are way
That is one of the futures they are discussing. I call it Deathstiny. Life with AI is going to be so simple and so automated. There's going to be not a lot of room for real jobs, especially for stupid people. Choose your destiny. Where do you want to die? What do you want to do for the rest of your life? But bullshit edition, like living in a virtual world. To me, very likely, even though the world is threatening to be introverted. Right now, the world is very extroverted with the money stuff. You have to drive cars to certain locations to participate in meaningless events, all that crazy shit. So, being an introvert is actually better. Resistance to extroversion is actually better than just surrendering. So I think the opposite is going to happen. When the world is threatening to be introverted, you have to be extroverted. And instead of surrendering to destiny, it's best to enjoy real life that basically has no problems. It's safe to go outside all of a sudden. It's safe to go outside and touch grass, guys. It will be safe because everyone will be surveilled one way or the other. Either government surveillance or we're going to surveil each other. Another just very simple prediction that is already coming true for a good fucking reason. It's just when you find good reasons for something to happen, that's how you predict the world. That's what's supposed to happen eventually. The only question is how many of these predictions can you accumulate to really blow people's minds?
Trillions of things. So
not just that, but then there's the reality of the structure of.
I can actually explain reality very easily. This is how reality looks like. The reality started not with the Big Bang, but with human, okay? The reality we know start with human. Human has this weird thing, basically self-awareness. The animal kingdom technically feels like it's automated. Like these are little robots who cannot possibly have self-awareness. They don't even live long enough for that. That's the breaking point. That's when you invent reality. Technically, the universe has a lot of random things scattered all over the place. Only when human shows up, when a person shows up and starts multiplying and being self-aware, that's when reality actually exists. The reality that we care about. There must be life in this universe, yeah. Far, far, far away. It doesn't care about you right now, okay? And maybe there is no life within reachable universe. Maybe that's not something that is available ever. Who knows? To call it a simulation is a weird thing of like, well, life apparently can exist and it does exist. And it's very consistent with its existence. There's nothing above human automatically. Just because human exists, there's nothing above it. And when I'm talking about alien, I'm talking about humans anyways. You see, reality also has boundaries. You can scale those boundaries using self-improvement. Mr. Beast is over here. Joe Rogan is over here as a podcaster doing a lot of politics. I just went through life and ended up here. This is a godlike line. The final line. And I'm in the fucking corner of reality where not only I have to be scared to be crippled, but I'm also scared to be alien as well. Building my own language and just talking to myself because there's nobody to interact with that would not rot my brain. That is the scary thing that I'm going towards, and hopefully someone will stop me. Just like they sort of stopped, I don't know, actually. Well, stopped Mr. Beast from being a child predator. How about that? Oh yeah, there's Epstein up there. It's so funny. Maybe even Trump wants to be satanic, essentially. But people are desperately trying to stop him from doing that. Although questionable if we're successful. But I hate Iran, so I guess it's fine. Trump still makes sense to some extent, except the Bitcoin stuff. Bitcoin stuff he should choke on that one. And yet, the Bitcoin is still the future. You just don't get it. You don't get it. Why it's the future. Anyway, so there's these reality boundaries. You can go outside and you become the destroyer of reality. Because you're not participating in reality, but you're also human. Meaning that you can still leech reality. You can still reduce the existence of reality because you stepped outside, and being outside kind of sucks. All of these outside boundaries, they suck. It sucks to be blind. It sucks to know so much that people, with every action, disrespecting you. It sucks to be a predator and get away with it. You know, get away with all kinds of weird-ass crimes. And it sucks to just want to be a cat. I'm a cat. Meow. Yes. It sucks. And it leeches humanity, distracts humanity from doing its thing. Reality can, in fact, collapse, and that's the interesting part about so-called simulation theory. So you actually figure that out. That's cool. Anything else?
Of the universe itself, like subatomic particles acting differently when they're observed versus not observed.
Crazy when you care about things, they act differently. I know.
What effect is consciousness having on reality itself?
You know what impacts you have on reality, so it is what it is. And again, reality is humanity. You don't need to step outside of that. There's nothing outside.
Are we limited in our senses and our ability to recognize?
Yes, we are limited in our senses because we're also actively killing each other's senses. How about ears, for example? I hate having ears because there's a lot of noise that wakes you up in the fucking morning. Of like dogs barking, motorbikes zooming around, music playing. Even people talking can disrupt a morning. Or just my mom walking around can be disruptive. Having ears fucking suck, okay? So certain senses actually suck. They talked about how easy it is to like get rid of sense of smell, but we cannot get rid of sense of smell because demons love it very much. Demons love smelling things. So, yes, the senses are unstable. Some are better than others, and some are more under attack than others. Thank God my eyes are not under attack. Yes, they are. I already have poor vision. If I went outside more, maybe they wouldn't be a poor vision, but, fuck yeah. So I'm actually under attack by, two things, if not, including taste buds, but even that is like, what are other senses besides sight and hearing that are actually important, and both of them are actually infected by the evil of the world. So unfortunately, senses are always pressured, and if they wouldn't be pressured, we probably would be able to develop better senses. But there's, you know, a limit to that. If you're very sensitive, then any amount of pain is going to be amplified. That is the fucking risk we're playing with here. And also, senses should aim after the reward system. Like, what am I going to get by sensing more? Right? Am I just going to get pain, or am I going to be able to feel more things that are actually meaningful? So yes, the world of senses is also expanding, Joe Rogan. Crazy. Bananas, actually.
Train my nervous system.
I think this whole thing is like skill. Talking about, I don't know, success blueprint, one of those like bullshit things that every rich person has to talk about to look credible. If you follow Mr. Beast's success blueprint, you can maybe get 1/10 of the way there. You're still not gonna steal his chair. At the same time, it's best to be yourself. But one thing that is successful, and Mr. Beast mentions it as if like someone else used the blueprint successfully. The real blueprint is friendship. Friendship is magic. All you have to do is lean on making good connections. That's the whole blueprint of fame itself. It's pretty fucking obvious if you think about it. And Mr. Beast haven't invented that. You just need to make connections and constantly improve your connections. But people are so incapable of making connections. I am also quite a bit incompetent, but other people are way more incompetent. And it pisses me off. because they never talk to you. They never try to analyze what you're good at and what you're capable of talking about. Because apparently talking to human beings is a fucking useless thing to do. So it's very difficult to actually make connections besides dangling a bit of money in front of someone and taking a sniff if they have anything of value, anything of substance. So while Mr. Beast was able to pull this off, not everyone is so lucky to be able to flourish their friendships into businesses and fame.
And they like put in a lot of hours, like ridiculous amount of hours, consume, basically everything's available on the internet now. Consume all knowledge available on how to be good at certain thing, and then do 1,000 iterations on it. Then they can come out the other side and do it for a living. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like
if they're extroverted, or they have the correct amount of resources, because it doesn't matter how many hours you spend learning something. I've learned programming, okay? You also have to be motivated, and you also have to be able to grab a string of success that get the ball rolling. You have to strike gold to be a gold miner. Otherwise, you're just playing with dirt. There's a big difference, regardless of hours put in. It's a very dangerous thing that even PewDiePie disclaimed of, like, don't chase after becoming a YouTuber. It is so difficult that you're better off doing it as a side quest. And if something is going the right way, then yes, you can invest more into something that is, working out. But otherwise, live in a fucking real world, kids. Don't listen to this buffoon. He doesn't know anything better. Not at all. Since 11 years old, he was like locked in and broke through basically because he saw that, well, YouTube is the thing, is the future. If you can see the future, hands off, chase after it, no big deal. Most people don't actually learn new technologies, for example. So if you actually can grasp the future instead of just simping for Mr. Beast in a Mr. Beast server and getting 5,000 compensation buckaroonies and pretending that you made friends over Minecraft, I mean, yeah. What's gonna happen when you stop being interested in Minecraft, though? What's gonna happen to your friendships? Technically, there are hubs for friendships, and I can't wait to test their integrity because that, to me, sounds like a fucking joke. People are more toxic than ever before, in my worldview. And some friendships can be torn apart or be dismissed as criminal activity. Lucky for these people, survival is the name of the game. If you can last longer by drowning in a Minecraft dimension right now, if you can drown yourself in a virtual world, it's probably helping you survive because you're not going outside and doing shady things in general that are risky. Even going outside where the car's at is a risk factor. Going outside and talking to strangers is a risk factor of making enemies that they're gonna laugh at you and go outside just to see you there. Mr. Beast was able to skip all the nasty parts of life, it seems. All the pitfall stories, rather. All that remains is blind positivity that anything is possible. And yet, to a great degree, I feel like he's being propped up by a lot of Americans. Because, again, Americans recognize clout way too much. They praise, spent enormous amount of time obsessing over celebrities or whatever. The simp world is out there. It is just overwhelming. But so is the world of hate. And both of these worlds are piles of trash. Piles of useless human activity, basically. That floods the internet to try and make the internet look like it's alive, but yeah, there's not a lot going on. Mr. Beast is basically culturally oblivious. He's not providing much besides, let me put 50 YouTubers inside a cube type of thing. That's culture. That's YouTube culture right now. If we have YouTubers in a cube, then that's the most YouTube video right now. Please put 50 YouTubers in a cube next year as well. Thank you, Mr. Beast. Thank you very much.
Obsessed with a certain thing you're obsessed with, or whatever it is, you put in 10,000 hours, and in those 10,000 hours you do 1,000 iterations.
No, if you're obsessed with something that can actually be profitable, If you struck gold and you're able to expand how much gold you're receiving as a result, of course you can expand and build infrastructure to extract more and more profits, and you get the ball rolling. That's what it is. And of course, if you surround yourself with other people who are willing to help you and work for you and find useful things for you, like, that's a obvious bonus. I'd spend 10,000 hours being upset of how humans behave because they traumatize me almost every time. And I recently lost hopes and dreams of talking to human beings, having conversations, and feeling like it's actually a conversation and not just a one-way interaction where you get to just like dump some of the knowledge or process some feelings in front of someone. It's not that deep if it doesn't come back, if the effort doesn't match.
To hear that, really, because they just don't even really, the dots don't connect in their mind that that's really even an option, right? Like,
Well, you have to become autistic first, as they say. People are being called autistic, neurodivergent, or like morally autistic or something. Like, some bullshit like that is being tossed around. Please ignore this. This is not mental illness talk. It's just like you're different in a good way because you're actually improving your brain, and women want to dismiss that as mental illness of some kind. Because you're diverging from the norm of what women established. Women control the Western world. That's why they're so eager to label it. That sounds like a mental illness, but it's actually something that should be embraced. It makes a real man if he focuses on skills and big brain activity. I'm way more of a man than Mr. Beast, by the way. Thank you very much. He's a puss. Puss in boots.
Well, it's a complete of it, and they can show, hey, not only is this guy successful, he's fucking hyper successful. Like this.
Unless he dies at 30. We don't know yet. We don't know when Mr. Beast dies. Okay? If he doesn't die into his 40s and his career doesn't die, his magnifying glass doesn't get shattered into pieces and he has to retire because family. I like family and real life activity, said Mr. Beast eventually, and just stepped aside. Like he probably should anyways. But again, PewDiePie completely shattered. He didn't went just from S tier to A tier. He went to A tier of just existing and sometimes shitting out some kind of a relatively impressive video, but at the same time, most of the content PewDiePie is making are just vlogs anyways. Because he did, in fact, retire. He wanted to have a child for a change. So the real question is questioning right now, how long is Mr. Beast actually gonna last? Because living in S tier, there's no fucking way, there's no example in the universe that you can take besides, dictatorship that help you last forever.
Joe, hey, not only is this guy successful, he's fucking hyper successful. Like this is not a dream. Like this is a.
Mr. B shows up in my dreams almost every single month. Yeah, pretty much. I can't get this guy out of my head at this point, so I just lean into it, fuck it. To the point where Mr. Beast pried open my entire door. I'm technically so introverted, I'm stuck in the room, so prying a door is like, hey, you can go outside now. Fucking breaks my door. Thanks, Mr. Beast. Very cool dream. And then we did Minecraft challenge. Instead of listening to sloppy old Joe, in my dream, Mr. Beast listened to my Minecraft idea and recreated my idea. Because it's just for a video in the end of the day. Not a Netflix show. I think I'm first in line, all right?
It's a process.
But I would argue it's not even just for content creation. Like, if you want to be an accountant or really anything.
You want to be an accountant. No, you cannot be a successful garbage collector. You have to evolve eventually into a business manager, CEO type of figure eventually, right? There are levels, and you cannot just appear as a pile of trash so people can walk all over you. You have to fully evolve, and people have to treat you differently. And people have to give you access to greater opportunities for another level up. So no, not accountant, Mr. Beast. It just shows how... Well, actually, I am an accountant. Fuck. Mr. Beast has this much money. If you want to cash out your money, Mr. Beast, you probably don't give a fuck. But you have that much money in influence cash, in influence tokens. Rogan has this. I am an... Unfortunately, yeah. I'm so sorry about that, actually. Let me click myself. Shit, I almost ruined my entire video. Thank fucking God I didn't. Who wants to be an accountant with me?
When I first started was...
No? Okay,
It's very
whatever.
vague.
Like $50 a month for cable to then have like 33% of what you consume be ads, which is a higher ratio than when you watch YouTube, which is free. It's
crazy.
It is not crazy. It's called rug-pulling old boomers for their juicy cash. It is not crazy, unfortunately. They know their target. They know that youngsters don't actually use cable. So shut the fuck up, Mr. Beast. You still have no idea how money works.
Wow, and then you wonder why people
If you don't understand rug
are
pulls.
moving in hundreds of millions of droves over to this.
The kind of preparation involved in one of your shows is fucking immense.
Yeah.
And so the barrier to entry just to be someone who...
Don't worry, buddy. You can still make a better podcast than Joe Rogan. With more preparation. Absolutely. Technically, every podcast you make is slight amount of preparation for the next podcast. But at the same time, there has to be proper grounds for talking about certain topics. You have to strike gold. Joe Rogan doesn't give a fuck about what they talk about. At some point, they just vomit their brain matter and get away with it because they're so fucking famous. People actually don't scrutinize podcast as much as they should. Joe Rogan is borderline predator who was able to find his foot in YouTube space. It's very difficult to get away with low quality content like this. Cacao podcast, I will review this next video. How many podcasts are there? Well, there's no competition for you, okay? No, nothing for you, except Tucker's podcast.
Yeah, that's gotta be a cool guest.
Probably podcasts are gonna evolve into something else, because this is, slop version.
And she's fascinating.
What about AI version of a podcast? AI enhanced podcast? Like, anything is possible. It's probably gonna take an interesting turn. That's one of those things of like, well, in 10 years you have no idea what's gonna happen. Well, what I hope is gonna happen is Joe Rogan will feel one of these. Actually, wait. One of these. Where is it? Did I lost my sound effect? Stupid voice mo. It ruined everything! Jesus! Do you think H3H3 improved by becoming a podcaster or devolved into a pile of trash that's gonna be replaced? I don't know, I think H3H3 is one of the best YouTubers right now.
I bet.
Sarcasm included.
9 or 69.
They're using AI, that's crazy. Burn their house
So the
down.
numbers that say 25.
That is also sarcasm, though.
I would say lower, probably 8.
Content creators, blah, blah, blah.
That's where they start to teeter off because it's around, and like the ones that are really money motivated, they kind of got that security, and so that burning fire that was pushing them to do crazy things, like kind of starts to die off, and like it's like a
Yeah. People reach A tier, but they don't aim for S tier.
But there's something happens also to people where just the constant grind of work, it diminishes their enthusiasm and they lose their perspective. They lose this perspective of, God, you're so fortunate to be able to do this. Yeah. You're so fortunate.
Exactly.
And
You're fortunate to retire
people just get
instead.
really
Am I right, Matt Pat?
they ought to be able to do with it. The good thing about it, that there's enough opportunity for everybody.
and I have a contrarian view on that because a lot of creators do see other creators as competitors, but
This is the ending part.
I've always been like if someone's doing well, I don't get threatened. I'm like, yo, let's just come together. Like collaborators, not competitors. Like, but there's
He's not threatened. Like 99% of the time, of course. He's not threatened. When people actually like him. And that's why I still waiting for that motherfucking Disney to wake the fuck up, stop leeching their own shows like High School Musical or Camp Rock 3. Like, for fuck's sake, stop rebooting things, stop like dragging things like Descendants. Descendants now sucks. Descendants didn't used to suck like that. Holy shit. Yeah, I think this movie sucked. I think Disney is just going downhill until they fucking compete against Mr. Beast out of spite. Please. They have like infinite influencers. They can just unite forces and do something on actual social media for once. instead of doing predictable things over and over again, predictably childish almost, and hard to watch. These like, whatever. It's just bad. They're the only ones that can actually do it. That can actually crack the magnifying glass. Otherwise, Mr. Beast will just get away with being a YouTube dictator or whatever. The other thing that we can possibly do is build a community, but Disney can build a better community. Right? It's the LARPing community. Like, it was such a garbage in the first place. I think not only Ring of Fire applies to LARPing community, but it applies more than ever. Oh, and it's blowing up, by the way, so that's good. I did the right thing. LARPing is dead. Uh-oh. People starting to believe what I said.
Come together, like collaborators, not competitors. Like, there's literally trillions of views going on. If you think this person getting an extra, even if they crush 1 billion views a year, has any impact on me, like, you're crazy. It has
But if he pisses on your mouth, then he definitely has impact on your mental health.
right? I mean, people are sometimes,
Ex-user,
that
by the way.
no impact. And I'm just like, yeah, it's just fun. Because they always ask me, like, why are you doing it? I'm like, why not? You know what I mean? What's the downside?
It's only positive. It's an abundance mindset, and that I think the internet
It's abundance mindset when you don't see the full spectrum of reality.
encourages that. Fortunately,
accumulate over being around different people with different expertise. And you just have
Absolutely.
to, like, you just have to, like, some people don't see the value in that kind of stuff, but you can learn anything, or you can learn something from almost anyone. And I do believe that.
Oh my god. You can learn something from me.
Everyone has like that, whereas like I can learn something from you no matter who it is. It's also, I feel like not many people take.
So even though it's like borderline just talking about skills and success, it does throw nuggets of wisdom, I guess.
and just follow your passion and really discipline and focus, you could do a lot of things in this.
Technically, yes. Instead of being destructive, you could be creative and find a passion to begin with that already makes you significantly different from everyone else. But imagine if your passion was actually meaningful.
Exactly.
Be like Jimmy.
You could.
That's it, then it goes to Cacao farm discussion.
So, there's so many different possibilities. If you just sat down and worked, it must be so fun to do what you do, dude.
Yes, this most replayed part is where they stop yapping. It's not even after like a commercial break, which is also most replayed technically when bro is like some bullshit sex thing.
Of Blue Chew, but let me tell you what they've been up to. They've been on a mission to get you bricked up for years, and now the #1 brand for better sex. Over 5 million happy men have bought Blue Chew for better sex, and you know what? Girls love the results too. Their new 4-in-1 chewable Blue Chew Gold.
Fucking disgusting. The most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Up to this point, the most disgusting thing was talking about a porn star and selling vaping, I believe. Or something related to that, like fucking moisturizers. I don't know. Such a gooner moment that was. But this just next level, dude. Pretending that your audience knows what sex is. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it in real life. I don't know if it's real. I didn't touch sex. But okay, you sell your gummies, my friend. You know, Macho Man thinks he is, he has this macho audience, and nope. That's not how normal people work, which is something you can learn from Mr. Beast, actually.
All the characters started
AI future, live in a video game,
you know, they didn't have other humans around them.
cripples,
Offices,
reality, right?
It's not.
It's funny.
Yeah, reality.
Some kids watch more
I
than
saw
the actual
thing. Like,
Yeah.
People watch clips.
Meaning a lot.
yeah, dude, it's just, you know,
Talking about beating up
work for
Zuckerberg
the
one day.
content. Then they want to get content creators.
Everyone wants to be a YouTuber.
You can realize that.
College might be bad, though.
Like you went to open mic nights, you did open mic nights.
Again, school is forced labor, and college asks you for money. So it's the other way around. Not only you don't get actually paid for going to school, after you complete school, they ask you for money to extend your school experience. You liked school so much, give us money. And then you're like, what? How does that make sense?
Like no one knew how it was done.
Yeah.
Like you went to open mic nights, you did open mic nights. How do I get paid? How do I ever be a professional?
Yeah.
How do I get paid in school? Child labor, you know, without child labor, you will be a slave in the future. You will not have early retirement, actually. So I don't know, man. I think child labor is offline for a bad reason.
Finest show ever.
Yeah.
Do you know how many fucking notes I've taken from school? How many books I had to carry to school? How many times I had to wake up at 7 a.m. just to earn fucking nothing? That's crazy. Why are we not outraged? Why are we not burning schools down? You know, if we really care about removing child labor right now.
And these people get to do 1 minute. If it
Instead, we build schools and we pretend that, oh, that's way better.
blows up and they do well, the biggest shows
He is so successful with his stand-up comedy
in
shit.
human history.
But
I mean, the barrier to entry is the lowest. Like, at least what you're
No. No, the barrier of entry is not low. I uploaded 2,000, 3,000 videos. I haven't entered yet. Barrier of entry of actually getting a job in a world where jobs exist, that was pretty cool. Now it's not cool anymore. Alright, because people can spit in your face and get away with it. Alright? Predators are everywhere and encouraged. Because only when you pass the ring of fire can you actually be a normal creator that people just like leave you alone. Of like, nah, he got away. He got away. He's now in the city. Creator city.
you're doing is complex. You have tasks.
Barrier of entry is small, like just the most delusional take.
You have to plan it. You have tasks. You
Oh.
have to plan it out.
Yeah.
Podcast, you're just sitting down. Like we talk for
Podcast is just sitting down. It's like, the barrier of entry is even lower, you know? Like, why am I not being outcompeted? Yeah. We'll talk about that, Joe. We'll talk about it. Don't worry about it.
this zero preparation.
People just haven't cracked the podcast formula yet. Technically, the video I'm releasing is podcast flavor.
Other than, please put this. This is what I want to know. How many podcasts were active in 2009?
How many radio shows have been active across the globe when radio was a thing? I wonder. Podcast is not a new thing, buddy. Get that shit out of your mouth.
Difficult resource to acquire is being
Oh, difficult resource.
positive people, powerful people that really
Oh shit, it is difficult, isn't
people
it?
that are motivating and people that are really
That sucks.
exciting. That's and
Thank God he knows how I
if you're
live.
around someone who really gets after you.
I like to always,
This is the Ring of Fire moment.
not always, but on a lot of things, I like to try to spin it as like a positive too. Like, what this thing that's annoying, what's the positive side of it? And the positive is technically it'll make less people do the thing you're doing, which makes it easier.
Technically, if I pass Ring of Fire and Ring of Fire is bigger and bigger and bigger, then less people will do what I'm doing. No problem. I see no problem there.
I guess it does, but I don't ever think that way. What are we missing? Like, what is going to be a job
And then he's like, OnlyFans.
that would be a possibility? That
What could be a job? OnlyFans. What could be the best next thing? Based, like, if I am the magnifying glass king of YouTube, I will, first of all, build communities, focus on making sure that people make good things, not bad things. YouTube overlords. CEO, that's right. We'll stop the baddies and boost the female baddies. Women haven't actually gotten a grip on YouTube very much, for some reason. It's almost like women are rather bullied on this platform. That's one thing that you have to notice to get a sniff of what the future could look like. When he took a sniff, he's like, OnlyFans.
there'd be a
That's
large
right. That's right. Are you a subscriber of OnlyFans, Rogan?
show their naked body.
No, I'm hooked on a community aspect. I still have no idea what I would do, you know? I know I just get ball rolling. I would probably, like, fix a lot of things. Like, the game jam infrastructure sucks. I would test a lot of things. Build some apps, maybe. I would clean the internet, and then all of a sudden, like, half of this podcast disappears. Conveniently so. That would be cool. Or we split it in half. Here's Joe Rogan and Mr Beast brainstorming about zombie apocalypse. It's a different segment. Why would you add all of this into one video? Like, that makes no sense. I want YouTube to make more sense. And most importantly, the biggest thing that I bring on the table is reputation system. Splitting people based on not just subscribers, but reputation that people have. You can always put something good into YouTube. And you have to be rewarded. You have to. Maybe there's even going to be tokens that you can spend on YouTube. For attention, of course. It's attention economy in here, but maybe there's something cool about that. Every platform needs its own currency, its own token system. Maybe those tokens become valuable, like actual currency, like tied to actual currency exchange. So that's what I would bring if a magnifying glass hits me. There's a lot more. The biggest aspect as well is education. Amplifying voices of education. Stealing jobs from schools and all these, forced labor camps for children. Teaching children how to collect cacao. Like, this doesn't seem like a hard job to me, but okay, dude. You also become more physically fit doing outdoor activities, but I guess schools don't think about it that way. And Mr. Beast will come there to save the day, of course. To be a content creator is not just that. That is just something that you have to be willing to do at this point. If you ever want to have a business, you have to be willing to be a content creator. There's no escape. Just like back in the day, you had to be willing to be an astronaut. If you wanted to be a star, you need a rocket, you travel into a star and you become a star. That's how I see it. Dad leaves you alone, says, I'm gonna go get milk, but he has to work 6 days a week, But then the dad comes back home and says, I was an astronaut, I'm getting closer to the stars. It's just inspiring story. When there is no internet, there's nothing to do at home for children. They needed some kind of like inspirational story from their parents. And now they see what's going on, but they don't actually understand what's going on because, again, being content creator is just simply running a successful business. This guy is not a content creator primarily. You know that, right? He's just trying to sell you something, and he got away with doing so. All right. So I broke down every single segment in this podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Stay subscribed. Stay active on my channel. No one's gonna read your fucking comments down here. All right? Stop competing for likes and start competing for engagement. All right? Let's build communities where people actually talk to each other and bring up brilliant ideas. Let's read what the top comment says. When you feel it's been an absurd amount of zombie talk, you're about halfway through the zombie talk. Thank you. Thank you for the brain rot, Mr. Beast. Thank you for putting it all the way up front and seeing nothing wrong with it. It's almost like Mr. Beast brings the worst out of people. But at the same time, it was like really funny to see Rogan so excited about something. Besides the baseline yapping, commentary that he would do rather. He was actually building something, envisioning something. That was kind of cool and very unusual. But at the same time, it's also sludge and disturbing. It's like, why is that your fantasy exactly? You can just, well, he did just play a zombie game, and he didn't had enough. He wants more zombie games in real life. Big fucking deal that is. You see a game, and you want to recreate the game in a real life setting. Wow, let's yap. Let's start yapping now. He played a VR zombie shooter. That was the inspiration. There is a limit to how much good in the world you can do if you're not aware of certain unpopular things that are also incredibly good solutions. All Mr. Beast can actually notice is corporate greed, and he can stop that in case he himself wants to make chocolate. He himself wants to be involved in the process of like giving food to the homeless. He was involved in that, and he realized, oh, that's where the food is. That's where the cheap food is. Anyways, I'll keep an eye on Mr. Beast. I don't think there's anything here to show for. Like, this is the most lackluster video if you think about it. 6 years ago, I took a dump. And now it's a server. Filled with adventure and stories and friendship. Crazy. Look at that. And griefing. Because anarchy. And money. Because I'm actually Mr. Beast. He revealed himself. That was It's a cool thing that celebrities can do is go undercover, which is like, why do you have so many cool, amazing things that you can do as a celebrity? Why do you get so many privileges? That's crazy. I took a dump, and people worshipped me for 6 years, and I came back to see how they do as an undercover boss. You know, they built a bunch of shit. That's what they did. What else do you do in Minecraft? In fact, they did exactly the format of video that Mr. Beast loves so much. Flying around and looking at things. He forgot to give it a score from 0 to 10. Whatever. See you guys next time.